For thousands of years, humanity has looked to the skies. We have searched the star for answers, for signs, and for hope. And among all the worlds above us, one has called us more than any other. A world that is both a mirror and a warning. A world that promises survival, yet whispers of danger. Mars. But what if Mars was not just a distant planet? What if it became our home? For centuries, Mars was only a mystery, a glowing point in the night sky, mistaken for a god of war. But with telescopes came visions, canals, water, even civilizations. Human imagination filled the unknown with dreams. And as our technology advanced, Mars transformed from myth into a possibility. Scientists found that it once had rivers, lakes, even oceans. Billions of years ago, Mars may have been alive. And if it was once alive, could it be alive again with our help? Could Mars become humanity's second Earth? Our home planet, Earth, is beautiful but fragile. It provides air, water, food, warmth, everything we need. But what happens when these gifts are threatened? Climate change, overpopulation, asteroids, wars. The truth is, one planet may not be enough to keep humanity safe forever. If disaster comes, where do we go? What world could possibly take us in? The answer lies not in distant stars, light years away, but right next door, Mars. It is cold, it is barren, it is hostile, but compared to the other planets, it is survivable. But to live on Mars, first, we must reach it. It takes 7 long months to travel from Earth to Mars. 7 months inside a cramped spacecraft. Astronauts would endure microgravity, weakening their muscles and bones. They would face cosmic radiation, an invisible threat that could damage DNA, cause cancer, or worse. And they would stare into the endless silence of space, far beyond any hope of quick rescue. Imagine drifting farther and farther from the only home you've ever known, until it becomes nothing more than a memory, a glowing star in the rear-view mirror. The most dangerous moment is arrival. Mars is just enough atmosphere to cause trouble, but not enough to slow a spacecraft safely. Landings must be precise. Every calculation, perfect. One wrong angle, and the ship burns. Too shallow, and it skips away into the void. But imagine against all odds, the landing succeeds. And for the first time in history, human footsteps press into Martian ground. The world holds its breath. A moment as historic as the moon landing, perhaps greater. But the triumph lasts only seconds. Because here, survival is not guaranteed. On Mars, every moment is a fight to stay alive. The air is mostly carbon dioxide, poison to human lungs. The pressure is so low, your blood would boil without protection. The temperature plunges to minus 80 degrees Celsius on an average night. And above, without a magnetic field, deadly radiation rains from the sun. Even the ground works against us. Its soil laced with toxic chemicals. And when storms rise, they can engulf the entire planet, blotting out the sun for weeks. Solar power dies. Crops wither. Colonists are left in the dark. Mars is not a friend. Mars is a predator. It waits for mistakes, and it does not forgive them. To survive, settlers must live inside sealed habitats. Every drop of water is recycled. Every breath of air is manufactured. Every seed planted is precious. Life is strict. Life is fragile. But life is possible. And inside these fragile bubbles of survival, humanity dares to dream of cities under glass, of forests growing in Martian soil, of a future where the red planet is not a prison, but a home. But for every dream there is a danger. For every hope, the risk. And the question remains, can humanity truly bend Mars to our will? Or will the red planet claim those who dare to chase its promise? The dream of living on Mars is powerful, but the reality is survival. Here, every breath must be earned, every meal engineered, every drop of water recycled. On Mars, nothing is given freely. Every mistake could mean death. And yet, humanity dares to try. The first rule of Mars is simple. Never step outside unprotected. Colonists must live inside airtight shelters. built from strong metals or carved deep into the Martian rock. Some designs even cover the habitats in Martian soil, using the planet itself as a shield against deadly radiation. These shelters are not homes in the way we know them. They are lifeboats, clinging to survival on a hostile world. A single leak could drain the air in minutes. A single power failure could end hundreds of lives. On Earth, we take air for granted. On Mars, air is a miracle. The thin Martian atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide, poison to humans. So colonists must create their own oxygen. Scientists envision giant machines called MOXIE, devices that rip apart carbon dioxide molecules, releasing pure, breathable oxygen. Others imagine vast algae farms, slowly producing oxygen the natural way. But there is always a risk. What if the machines fail? What if the farms wither? On Mars, even a breath must be fought for. Without water, there is no life. And on Mars, water is more valuable than gold. Scientists have discovered frozen reserves beneath the soil. But extracting them requires technology, energy, and constant vigilance. Every drop must be recycled. Every glass of water might have been drunk 10 times before. On Earth, we waste water without a thought. On Mars, water is sacred. It is survival itself. Food on Mars cannot come from the soil outside. It is toxic, filled with deadly chemicals. Instead, colonists must grow crops in sealed greenhouses, hydroponics, artificial lighting, every seed carefully protected. Imagine eating the first potato grown on Mars. A small victory, proof that life can take root in the harshest places. But what happens if crops fail? If a disease spreads? If the greenhouse lights go out during a storm? On Mars, hunger is never far away. Mars has no protective magnetic field, no thick atmosphere. Here, radiation from the sun in deep space pours onto the surface. Silent, invisible, deadly. Too much exposure damages DNA, weakens the body, brings cancers, sickness, death. So colonists must live underground or beneath thick shields of Martian soil. Even a walk outside is a gamble. Each step across the red desert is a dance with danger, measured in rads. On Mars, even sunlight is a killer, but perhaps the greatest enemy on Mars is not the cold, not the storms, not even the radiation. It is the mind, isolation, loneliness, the crushing weight of distance from Earth. A message sent home takes minutes to arrive. Every colonist knows if disaster strikes, help will not come. They are alone. What happens to human spirit when it is trapped inside a bubble on a world that wants you dead? Will pioneers stay strong, or will Mars slowly break them, piece by fragile piece? On Mars, survival is possible, but it comes at a price. Every breath, every meal, every heartbeat is a victory against the planet itself. The settlers may endure. They may build. They may even thrive. But the question remains, can a society truly grow on a world so hostile? Or will Mars remain a prison dressed as a dream? Survival on Mars is hard, but survival is only the beginning. If humanity endures the storms, the radiation, the loneliness, then comes the greatest challenge of all. Not just living on Mars, but building a civilization here. A new world. A second chapter for humankind. The first generation of colonists will struggle. They will fight for air, for food, for water. But what of the next generation? The first humans born on Mars. They will never know the skies of Earth, never hear the ocean waves, never feel the weight of full gravity pressing against their bones. Their bones may grow weaker. Their hearts may beat differently. Their bodies may evolve into something new. Will they still be human as we know them? Or the first of a new kind, a species born not of Earth, but Mars? With people comes politics. With survival comes conflict. Who will rule Mars? Will it be Earth governments, controlling colonies across the void? Or will settlers declare independence, fighting for freedom on their new world? History shows us colonies rarely remain colonies forever, and the distance to Earth, tens of millions of kilometers, makes control fragile. Will Mars become humanity's partner, or its rival? But beyond politics lies an even greater dream. The dream of transforming Mars itself. Terraforming. Changing an alien planet into a second Earth. Scientists imagine warming the planet by releasing greenhouse gases, melting the ice caps to release ancient water, even building giant mirrors in orbit to direct more sunlight down. Over centuries, Mars might grow rivers again, oceans, a sky thick enough to breathe, a world reborn. But is this dream possible? Or is it only science fiction? The truth is, no one knows. Mars may resist us forever. Even if we succeed, the price may be high. To change Mars is to destroy the planet it once was. To reshape it, we must take risks we can barely imagine. What if we unleash storms we cannot control? What if we awaken something ancient buried in the ice? What if, in trying to make Mars more like Earth, we destroy it and ourselves? Mars is not ours. It is alien. It may never forgive our attempts to tame it. But perhaps Mars is not meant to be easy. Perhaps its danger is the very reason we must go. Mars forces us to innovate, to unite, to grow beyond our limits. It asks us, will humanity remain a one-planet species, bound to Earth forever? Or will we become something greater, a people of two worlds, and eventually many more? Mars is not just a planet. It is a mirror showing us who we are and who we could become. One day, perhaps sooner than we think, humans will live on Mars. They will breathe its air, drink its water, call it home. But as we build this new world, one question will always echo. Are we escaping Earth? Or carrying its same mistakes across the stars?